Hi. Um, I'd like to take this opportunity just to give you a few pointers on presentations, much like you'll be getting some inputs from Rumor as well. Now, while Rumor was focusing mostly on the PowerPoint aspect, the presentation aspect of what you want to bring forward, what I would like to share with you is how to build up your storyline. And the thinking behind building up the storyline is what we call the new pyramid principle. And it's a way of thinking about what that story could look like and what you'd like to choose. So let me just take a few moments to take you through four potential structures of your story, to then discuss with you what would probably be the best type of structure for you. Now, for that, we'll move beyond this futuristic pyramid to one which is a little bit more virtual, but gives you a bit more insight into what a potential structure could look like. So this pyramid is made of four layers, and these are the four different types of presentations that you could come up with. Let me go through those layers and then ask you the question, what do you think would work best for your audience? What's going to have the highest impact? Most people that present something do the fundamental thing, and that's that they answer the question, what did we do? They tell a story from beginning to end, more or less specifying the journey that they've gone through. So which steps have we taken? Which actions have we taken? And we're going to take you along through that entire voyage from beginning to end. So it is very much around trying to convey the voyage. And that means that the focusing is mostly on informing. It's about reporting. It's about justifying what you've done. Hey, we spent a lot of time on this, and we're going to share everything that we put down on paper. We made 98 slides, and damn it, we're going to show all of them to you. This is why it's the bottom of the pyramid. It's actually the longest type of presentation. There's not very many circumstances under which this makes sense. You might want to make a documentary which takes 3 hours long from beginning to end, but there's not very many circumstances in which I would advise you to do this. So what are the other alternatives? Well, the second thing that you can do is you can try to answer the question, not what did we do, but what do we think? What is our line of reasoning? In that case, it is actually an argument that you're trying to put forward. That's a little bit more compact from beginning to end. It's still relatively long. You're saying, this is what we thought. This is our argument. This is argument number one. This is point number two. This is point number three. And these are our conclusions. It's not about sharing information anymore. You really want to illuminate. You want to focus on the analysis. You want to give inputs. You want to give insights. But it's still a relatively long type of presentation because you need to take people along on all of the steps in your line of reasoning. Could still be a good approach, particularly if you feel that you don't want to jump to conclusions, but you really want to make sure that people can follow each step that you've taken. Now, both of these ways of presenting tend to be very sender-centric. What do I want to tell you? What do I want to share? So what do I think? And of course, if you can have a presentation which is sender-centric, the opposite is going to be receiver-centric. What happens if you don't think about what I want to communicate, but about what you would potentially want to hear? Now we get a different type of presentation. So the third type of presentation is one in which not what do we think or what do I think, but what should you think? What is it that I want to convince you of? Now I'm stepping in the shoes of the audience and saying, you're probably thinking this, but I'm going to try to change your mind. I'm going to try to flip your view. So this is not an argument, but this is now focusing on the message. I think that this is the message which is going to change your mind. So it's not about illumination anymore. I want to influence. I want to focus on persuading, on converting you. So of course I need to know up front, what do you probably think? And how can I now tailor my message, really tailor it, cut it down to its bare essence? So these are the three things that you should come away from this presentation now knowing. You see how it's now getting shorter? I'd probably even start this by saying, our main message are these 3 points, and we're going to explain to you what these 3 points are. So what's the tip of this pyramid? Now I'm not only telling you what you should think, but I'm telling you what you should do. So what do we want from you? I'm now moving beyond the message. I'm now saying these are the actions. It's a call to arms. It is a way of getting the audience moving. It's not only about influencing. I now want to initiate. I'm focusing on enlisting you for my cause, mobilizing you. This is a very short message because I'm saying, I want you to leave this room and now do this. So this is very compact. And your presentation will probably look like, we're going to present these 3 action points. And we would like to get you to leave this presentation and do this. And now these are the arguments why you should do these actions. Short, sweet, just enough to get them on board to mobilize them. Now, the more that you go up the pyramid, the more impact you're going to have. Now, I can imagine that you might want to make a combination of these, but you see how even if you have the message, I'm trying to influence you, you'll come away with your mind changed, but not necessarily there being any changes that the audience is going to initiate. For that, I really need to say not only this is what you should think, but this is what you should do. And if I focus on what you should do, all of the other stuff shouldn't get in the way because people can't take in too many arguments. If you tell them the entire voyage or the entire argument, your points are going to drown in that deluge of information. So keep it tight, keep it short, and be clear on what you want to do. Is it about illuminating? Is it about influencing? Is it about getting people to move? And if you know what you want to achieve, then you tailor the message and tailor the structure of your presentation appropriately. Well, I hope that this gives you something to think about. There's no 3 steps to success. This is not to put it into this 2x2 and you have a presentation, but they should get you thinking about what the structure could possibly be. Good luck, and I'm curious to see what you guys come up with.